don't give more to someone and they're not going to reciprocate nor appreciate with genuine respect what you're doing. Because only in my absence did my significant really acknowledge my presence. And and I say this because it's like it literally took nothingness for him to understand how much I cared and appreciated our relationship and how much I cared for him. It took nothing, whereas before I tried to give him something. Excessively compensating for an unrequited effort proved to be a gross exaggeration of my significance, further denoting a possible infringement of self esteem. As I was unassured within my previous relationship, I then began to question my capabilities frequently. As my efforts, when in moderation, went without gratification, I then sought to acquire what I perceived to be a necessary validation, which honestly now is very unnecessary. Yet in that instance, it was necessary for me, given the structure of our relationship. So I sought validation from my once male significant by quantifying my devotion for a quality response of endearment. In other words, although I gave sufficiently, it frequently proved to be insignificant, as my male significant didn't assure my efforts through reciprocal treatment. So I thought if I provided my support at an influx, he would likely be best able to acknowledge my efforts. Yet, unfortunately, as the saying goes, you can't give somebody more of what they already don't appreciate because they're still not going to appreciate that. And that's pretty much what resulted of my relationship to my male significant. Yet I wanted to touch on this aspect of our relationship or of our dynamic because I never fully acknowledged how my self-esteem was challenged in this relationship. I've always had a high belief of self-esteem. I always understood my value. I knew what I was worth, and yet I behaved in a deviant manner which contradicted this belief. So that's where I was able to acknowledge, like, okay, my self-esteem was being attacked. I don't want to say challenged too frequently, but my self-esteem was being attacked. I also could acknowledge this attack of self-esteem because I was putting my male significant before me, and so much so that his validation meant so much to me. And I think it meant so much for me because he was my male significant and I was his female significant. I assured him, I supported him. I never gave him questionability, or I never made room for questionability, where on my behalf there was a lot of questions, there was a lot of confusion because my male significant was a love bomber. For example, I would call my male significant and he would forward my phone calls. So when I would approach him, or rather confront him on this, he would say, "Oh, I never forwarded your call." Well, my phone told me the call was forwarded, so who did it? You know what I'm saying? Or there would be instances where my male significant would say, "I'm going to call you back," or we would physically be in one another's presence, and he'll say, "Okay, I'll call you later." So I stay up all morning, all afternoon, all evening, all night, waiting for his call, and he never calls. There'll be instances where he wouldn't call me for a couple of days, almost nearing a week. So I would have to, extend my hand and call him. So there would just be many instances that occurred within our relationship that made me question my ability as a significant, not my ability as a woman, as an individual, as Lamaya, but my ability as his significant. It made me question what I was capable of in this relationship, just given how all my efforts went without reciprocation, without acknowledgement or appreciation. But nonetheless, it's like, dang, like that was crazy. Because I guess it was just, like I said, it was hard for me to acknowledge that my self-esteem was being challenged because I still had this belief of self-esteem. I still had this belief of confidence. And even outside of the relationship, like I was my most confident. I was my most assured, at work, with family. in various areas of my life that was separate from this relationship, was I everything other than what I was in this relationship. So I guess it was even harder for me to acknowledge it as such, because I'm going out with my friends and I'm being a bad bitch. I'm out with my family being the best daughter, the best sister, and until it, at one point, it all caught up to me, that relationship then seeped into my other relationships, which influenced my self-esteem and confidence even more so. So that's a new acknowledgement. Like, it did really get me. I thought it didn't get me, but it got me. So yeah, I don't really know if there's a rhyme or reason to that. It was just a crazy realization that I had because I never acknowledged it. Whenever you have those instances where something could be right in your face, and then it takes it being out of your face, or you being out of that situation, for you to be like, damn, like it was very apparent, and I just was Stevie Wonder to the bullshit. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to discuss. I wanted to, I guess, tell my younger ladies, my older ladies, or excuse me, women of equal age to me, too much kombucha, women of equal age to me, don't give more of yourself to someone that is just not going to appreciate it. And when I say more of yourself, I'm not even just talking in a physical sense. A lot of times when we speak in these terms, they think physical or sexual. No, emotionally, financially. Like, don't give more to someone and they're not going to reciprocate nor appreciate with genuine respect what you're doing, because only in my absence did my significant really acknowledge my presence. And and I say this because it's like, it literally took nothingness for him to understand how much I cared and appreciated our relationship, and how much I cared for him. It took nothing, whereas before I tried to give him something: support, loyalty, communication. you know so I'm not going to ramble for too long, but hopefully you guys appreciated hearing my thoughts, and maybe it resonated with you in whatever respect. And yeah, that's that.